Star back here, your friendly neighborhood metaphysical practitioner and life coach. What I'm here to do today is start our very first Free Advice Friday. And so I put up a post a couple of days ago. I got an overwhelming response of questions, and so that would take a really long time. And so what I thought I'd do is put them in video and allow a lot of people to get some free advice. And so maybe it's your question that's being answered today, or maybe in 2 years it's somebody that just is Googling forgiveness. We're not really sure, right? So we are going to talk about forgiveness today. I had several people interested in forgiveness. How do I forgive was a pretty big question. And so what does forgiveness look like? Where does it come from? Where does it go? What does it feel like? Is there relief involved? Is there pleasure involved? Is there pleasure involved in the pain? So forgiveness has to 100% of the time begin with the self. And so maybe you really screwed somebody over, and maybe you said something that was pretty terrible, and maybe you abandoned someone, or maybe you totally dipped out on a project, or insert unsavory situation here. You absolutely have to forgive yourself in order to push forward to the next level of your life. And so if you're carrying that baggage with you, you're just not going to move forward. If you want to know why you're stuck, forgiveness is always where we're going to start. And so I need you to understand that forgiveness is an ego issue and not a soul issue. Forgiveness says, you owe me, and your expectation should have been, because my expectation was, and da 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 da. And so we have to look at expectation management. Expectation management means, is my expectation appropriate for this situation? If the answer is yes, if you truly feel that way, then we're going to go down one path. Now, there are a lot of people in the metaphysical world that would say, don't have any expectations and you can't get your feelings hurt. But that never really made sense to me. Like, I absolutely do have expectations of those around me, and something that I talk with people about on a regular basis is that God loved the Dalai Lama. He's a beautiful man, and thank goodness for his presence in our lives, but he basically lives in a castle on a mountain, and all of his needs are met, and he has people that wait on him hand and foot, and he's not married, and he doesn't have any kids, and his co-workers are all Buddhist monks. So he's got a pretty pleasant life. If you don't live in a castle on a mountain, I'd really like you to pay attention to your management of expectations. And so if your crazy cousin has the same issue for the last 15 years, and it just has come across your path, and it is really pissing you off, well, you're expecting a little much from somebody who clearly isn't capable of providing more in a situation. Now, if this is something where somebody has legit screwed you over, expect that they don't screw you over, and it's okay to be a little pissed off if they screw up. Now, is it okay to lash out or to throw a fit? I don't think so. I don't think it is. Do we still throw fits? Yes. Forgive yourself immediately. Okay, so we have tools for forgiveness. Where I'm going to start with that is the Ho'oponopono. And this is ancient Hawaiian magic. And what this does is allows you to forgive the person without allowing that person back into your life if you don't choose to. And so this falls way more in line with what I think forgiveness should look like versus what maybe a very holy person would think. And so we're trying to have, balanced lives here. And so we can't, we can't always be perfect. And when we're not always perfect, we need tools for that time too. So the Ho'oponopono looks like, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And so I love you because you are part of me, and I am part of you, and we can't escape that. I'm sorry for my negative reaction. I'm sorry for XYZ. It doesn't really matter. Just that you're owning your piece, however minuscule that piece might be. Please forgive me. And so this really isn't going to the person that deserves forgiveness or that you are forgiving. This goes to the universe on a grand scale. And if you want to talk more about the law of attraction later, we will. But what you're saying is, please forgive me. And so you're sending it out because what you send out comes back. And so eventually it's going to get to that person. That person's going to come back to you and say, oh, crap, please forgive me. That's why we do that. Thank you. You always want to leave a prayer or a meditation in gratitude. And so you're saying thank you just to the possibility of forgiveness and the possibility of healing. And so what happens if you have a really, really small offense, like your cousin, per se, that she kind of just lives that way, and there's not really much that's ever going to happen until she decides to get her life in gear and, you know, whatever that situation is. Well, that might not need so much of the Ho'oponopono. But what if somebody, like, slashed your tires on your car? Or what if you were abandoned by somebody? Or what if, you know, somebody stole from you? In that case, they get a whole lot of that. And you keep doing the Ho'oponopono in sequence. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Until you can't feel the yuck anymore. And so we're not forgiving them for them, because screw them, because they screwed us over, right? But what about forgiving them for us? And so there is a saying that sounds something like, being in anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Well, I'm going to say that it's the same with forgiveness. If you're holding back forgiveness, or if you're holding a grudge, which I used to be the queen of the grudge, trust me, it's only making your life crappy, and it's only going to hold you in the space that you're in, and you're going to be paddling around in your life, and you're not going to realize, why am I still in this space, and how come I haven't moved forward? It's because your energy is stuck, and you need to clear that out. Okay, and so there's forgiveness. And so, once again, we're going to do a little recap. Forgiveness starts with yourself. If you are not at least open to forgiving yourself, you're never going to be able to forgive anybody else. It just is not going to happen. If your forgiveness issue is not with yourself, but if it's with another person, once again, at least be open. At least be open to it. Even if it's scary, even if you're not sure how it's going to happen, say, universe, God, you know, whomever you're praying to, I am open to forgiveness, and I am open to learning how to do this, even though I'm not really sure how this is going to happen. Ho'oponopono, you can use all the time. And so, once again, it's I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And that just kind of clears space, and once again, allows for some things to happen metaphysically that might seem a little woo-woo, but it has been my experience that it's pretty successful. It works pretty well. So, once again, I'm Missy Zarbach, and if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me at themagnificentwoman@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook. Good to talk to you. Bye.